Hello, my friends. Welcome back to English Scale Podcast. I am Tom, and today I am very happy to practice English with you. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something that many people experience at least once in their lives: job interviews. More specifically, we are going to learn how to answer common job interview questions in clear, natural, and confident English. Maybe you are looking for your first job. Maybe you want a better job. Maybe you are preparing for an interview in English for the first time. Or maybe you simply want to improve your speaking skills for future opportunities. Whatever your reason is, this episode is for you. Many English learners become nervous when they hear the words job interview. They worry about making grammar mistakes. They worry about forgetting words. They worry that the interviewer will ask difficult questions. Sometimes they prepare for many days, but when the interview starts, their mind suddenly becomes empty. If this has happened to you before, do not worry. You are not alone. Thousands of English learners feel exactly the same way. The good news is that interviews become much easier when you understand what employers are really looking for. Most interview questions are actually very predictable. They ask similar questions again and again. Once you understand the purpose behind these questions, you can prepare simple, clear answers that sound natural. You do not need advanced vocabulary. You do not need to speak like a native speaker. You only need to communicate your ideas confidently and honestly. Many people believe that companies only hire candidates with perfect English. In reality, this is not always true. For many jobs, employers care much more about your attitude, your communication skills, your willingness to learn, and your ability to solve problems. Of course, good English is helpful, but perfect English is not necessary. Imagine two candidates. One uses very difficult vocabulary, but cannot explain their ideas clearly. The other uses simple English, but speaks calmly, answers directly, smiles naturally, and shows confidence. Very often, the second person creates a much better impression. Clear communication is always more valuable than complicated language. This is wonderful news for English learners because simple English can be extremely powerful when it is spoken with confidence. Before we learn the interview questions, let's first understand what a job interview really is. A job interview is simply a conversation. It is not an examination where every answer is either right or wrong. The interviewer is trying to learn about you as a person. They want to know if you have the skills for the job. They want to understand your experience. They want to discover your personality. They also want to know if you will work well with other employees. At the same time, you are learning about the company. You are deciding whether this workplace is right for you. In other words, both sides are asking themselves the same question: is this a good match? When you remember this, interviews become less frightening because you realize that you are not the only one being evaluated. You are also evaluating the company. One of the biggest mistakes candidates make is believing they must memorize perfect answers. They spend hours trying to remember every word. Then, during the interview, they forget one sentence and suddenly panic. This is not the best way to prepare. Instead of memorizing complete speeches, learn the main ideas you want to communicate. Practice speaking naturally using your own words. Every interview is a little different, so flexibility is much more useful than memorization. If you understand your own experiences well, you can answer questions in many different ways without sounding like you are reading from a script. Another common mistake is speaking too quickly. When people become nervous, they often speak much faster than normal. They think speaking quickly makes them sound fluent. Actually, the opposite is usually true. Fast speaking often creates more mistakes. The interviewer may have difficulty understanding you. You may also forget important information because your brain cannot organize your thoughts fast enough. Slow speaking shows confidence. Clear pronunciation shows confidence. Short pauses show confidence. There is nothing wrong with taking 1 or 2 seconds before answering a question. In fact, many experienced professionals do exactly that. They think first, then they answer carefully. Preparation is one of the biggest secrets to interview success. Think about athletes before an important competition. They do not simply arrive and hope everything goes well. They train every day. Musicians practice before a concert. Actors rehearse before performing on stage. Job interviews are no different. The more you practice, the more natural your answers become. When you practice several times, your brain becomes familiar with the questions. Instead of worrying about what to say, you can focus on speaking clearly and connecting with the interviewer. Confidence is not something people are born with. Confidence grows through preparation and repeated practice. Many interview questions are designed to learn something specific about you. Sometimes, the interviewer wants to understand your personality. Sometimes, they want examples of your experience. Sometimes, they want to know how you solve problems or work with other people. If you understand why they are asking the question, it becomes much easier to answer. For example, when they ask, "Tell me about yourself," they are not asking for your entire life story. They simply want a short professional introduction. When they ask, "Why do you want this job?" they are checking whether you are genuinely interested in the position. When they ask about your strengths or weaknesses, they want to understand how well you know yourself and whether you are willing to improve. Every question has a purpose, and once you understand that purpose, your answers become much more natural. Throughout today's episode, we will practice many of the most common interview questions together. We will learn simple sentence patterns that are easy to remember. We will look at good examples, common mistakes, and useful vocabulary that you can use in real interviews. Whether you have years of work experience or you are applying for your very first job, these techniques will help you speak with greater confidence. Remember, employers are not searching for perfect people. They are searching for honest, reliable, positive people who are willing to learn and contribute. If you can communicate those qualities using simple, natural English, you will already be much stronger than you think. So, relax, listen carefully, and let's begin learning how to answer job interview questions with confidence. One question that almost every interviewer asks is, "Tell me about yourself." This is usually the first question in the interview, and it is your opportunity to make a strong first impression. Many people become nervous because they do not know how much information they should give. Some people answer with only 1 or 2 short sentences, while others talk for 5 minutes about their entire life. Neither approach is the best. A strong answer should be short, professional, and organized. Think of it as a brief introduction that explains who you are, what you have done, and why you are here today. You do not need to mention every school you attended, every hobby you have, or every job you have ever had. Focus on the information that is most relevant to the position. A simple structure can make this question much easier. Start by introducing yourself. Then mention your current job or your educational background. After that, talk about 1 or 2 important skills or experiences that relate to the position. Finally, explain why you are excited about this opportunity. For example, you could say, "Hello, my name is Sarah. I have worked in customer service for 4 years. During that time, I learned how to communicate with customers, solve problems, and work well under pressure. I am excited about this position because I enjoy helping people and I would like to continue developing my skills in a professional environment." This answer is not complicated, but it gives the interviewer useful information. It sounds organized, confident, and positive. Now let's look at another very common interview question. The interviewer may ask, "Why do you want to work here?" Many candidates make the mistake of answering, "Because I need a job," or because the salary is good. While these answers may be honest, they do not show enthusiasm or interest in the company. Employers want to hire people who have taken a little time to learn about their business. Before every interview, spend a few minutes reading the company's website. Learn what products or services they offer. Read about their values and goals. This small amount of preparation can make a huge difference during the interview. A stronger answer could sound like this: I want to work here because your company has an excellent reputation for customer service. I enjoy helping people, and I believe my communication skills would allow me to contribute to your team. I also like that your company encourages employees to continue learning and improving. Notice that this answer is positive. It connects the candidate's skills with the company's values. It also shows that the candidate prepared before the interview. Interviewers appreciate candidates who show genuine interest instead of giving generic answers that could be used for any company. Another question you will probably hear is, why should we hire you? At first, this question may sound difficult because many people feel uncomfortable talking about themselves. They worry that they will sound arrogant or overconfident. However, this question is simply an opportunity to explain what you can offer the company. The interviewer is inviting you to explain why your skills and experience make you a good fit. You do not need to say that you are the best person in the world. Instead, explain your strengths clearly and honestly. For example, you could say, I believe I would be a good addition to your team because I am dependable, organized, and eager to learn. In my previous job, I enjoyed working with customers and solving problems. My manager often trusted me with additional responsibilities because I worked carefully and completed my tasks on time. I enjoy learning new skills, and I am confident that I can contribute positively to your company. This answer sounds professional without sounding arrogant. It focuses on qualities that employers value, such as responsibility, teamwork, reliability, and willingness to improve. Sooner or later, almost every interviewer asks about strengths. They may simply ask, what are your strengths? This is your chance to talk about the qualities that help you succeed at work. Before the interview, think about 3 or 4 strengths that honestly describe you. Good examples include being reliable, hardworking, organized, patient, adaptable, friendly, responsible, or a fast learner. Choose strengths that match the job you are applying for. If you are applying for customer service, communication and patience are excellent strengths. If you are applying for an office position, organization and attention to detail may be more important. If you are applying for a leadership role, teamwork and problem-solving are valuable qualities. Do not simply list your strengths without giving examples. Instead of saying, I am hardworking, explain how your hard work helped you in a real situation. You could say, one of my strengths is staying organized. In my previous position, I managed several tasks every day while still meeting all my deadlines. I enjoy planning my work carefully because it helps me stay productive. Small examples make your answers much stronger because they show the interviewer that your strengths are real, not just words. The next question often makes candidates uncomfortable. The interviewer asks, what is your biggest weakness? Many people panic because they think there is no correct answer. Some people say they have no weaknesses at all. Others choose a weakness that makes them unsuitable for the job. Neither approach is effective. Interviewers know that everyone has weaknesses. They are not looking for perfection. They want to see honesty, self-awareness, and a willingness to improve. A good strategy is to mention a real weakness that is not essential for the position and then explain what you are doing to improve it. For example, you might say, earlier in my career, I sometimes found it difficult to speak in front of large groups. I realized this was an important skill, so I began volunteering to give short presentations during team meetings. I still get a little nervous sometimes, but I have become much more confident through practice. This answer works well because it shows growth. The weakness is real, but the candidate is actively improving. Employers appreciate people who learn from their experiences instead of pretending to be perfect. Remember that interviews are conversations, not performances. Every answer does not need to be perfect. If you make a small grammar mistake, continue speaking. If you forget a word, use a simpler one. Communication is always more important than perfection. Interviewers are usually more interested in understanding your ideas than listening for tiny language mistakes. The more you practice these common questions, the more naturally your answers will come and the more confident you will feel when the real interview begins. One question that many interviewers like to ask is, "Can you tell me about a challenge you faced at work?" Do not worry if you have never had a full-time job. A challenge can come from school, volunteering, an internship, or even a group project. The interviewer is not trying to hear a perfect story. They want to understand how you think and how you solve problems. A simple way to answer is to describe the situation, explain what you did, and then talk about the result. For example, you could say, "In my previous job, we were very busy during the holiday season. Many customers needed help at the same time. I stayed calm, organized my tasks, and communicated clearly with my teammates. Together, we served all the customers and received positive feedback." This answer shows teamwork, problem-solving, and a positive attitude. Even if your example is small, it can still leave a strong impression when you explain it clearly. Another common question is, how do you handle pressure? Every workplace has busy days. Employers want to know that you can remain calm when things become difficult. A good answer might be, "I try to stay organized and focus on one task at a time. When work becomes busy, I make a list of my priorities and communicate with my team if I need help. Staying calm helps me make better decisions." Notice that this answer does not say that pressure never affects you. Instead, it explains how you manage stressful situations. That sounds much more realistic and professional. You may also hear the question, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Some candidates become confused because they think they must predict the future. The interviewer does not expect you to know exactly what your life will be like. They simply want to know if you have goals and whether you are interested in growing with the company. A simple answer could be, "In 5 years, I hope to have developed my skills, taken on more responsibility, and become an important member of the team. I enjoy learning, and I would like to continue growing professionally." This answer shows ambition without sounding unrealistic. Avoid saying that you plan to leave the company very soon or that you have no idea about your future. Sometimes interviewers ask, "Why did you leave your last job?" This question requires honesty, but it is also important to stay positive. Never spend several minutes criticizing your previous employer, your manager, or your coworkers. Even if you had a difficult experience, focus on what you learned and what you are looking for now. For example, you could say, "I learned many valuable skills in my previous position, but I wanted new challenges and more opportunities to grow professionally." If your contract ended or the company reduced staff, simply explain that calmly. Employers respect candidates who remain professional even when discussing difficult situations. Another important question is, do you prefer working alone or as part of a team? The best answer usually shows that you are comfortable with both situations. Most jobs require some independent work and some teamwork. You might say, "I enjoy working independently because I can stay focused and manage my responsibilities." At the same time, I also enjoy working with a team because sharing ideas often leads to better results. I believe both skills are important in a successful workplace. This balanced answer shows flexibility, which employers appreciate. Interviewers may also ask about your greatest achievement. Some people think they need an amazing story about winning a major award or leading a huge project. That is not necessary. Your achievement can be something that made you proud. Perhaps you improved customer satisfaction, completed a difficult project before the deadline, learned a new skill, or helped train a new employee. Explain what happened, what you did, and why it was meaningful to you. Small achievements often sound more believable because they show your everyday work ethic. Communication is another important part of every interview. Your words matter, but your body language also matters. Try to smile naturally when you greet the interviewer. Sit comfortably with good posture. Make eye contact without staring continuously. Listen carefully before answering. Avoid interrupting the interviewer. When they finish speaking, pause for a second, organize your thoughts, and then begin your answer. These small habits make you appear confident and respectful. Even if you feel nervous inside, calm body language helps create a positive impression. Remember that asking questions at the end of the interview is also important. Many interviewers finish by asking, "Do you have any questions for us?" Never answer, "No, I don't have any questions." Instead, prepare 2 or 3 simple questions before the interview. You could ask, "What does a typical day look like in this position?" You could ask, "What qualities make someone successful in this role?" Or you could ask, "What opportunities are there for learning and professional development?" These questions show that you are interested in the job and thinking about your future with the company. Before we finish today's episode, let's review the most important ideas. Prepare before every interview. Learn about the company. Practice answering common questions. Use simple English instead of difficult vocabulary. Speak slowly and clearly. Stay positive when talking about your experience. Give examples whenever possible. Do not worry about being perfect. Interviewers understand that everyone feels nervous. They are looking for honest people who communicate well, learn from their experiences, and show a positive attitude. Confidence does not mean speaking perfect English. Confidence means being prepared, staying calm, and expressing your ideas clearly. Every interview is also valuable practice. Even if one interview does not lead to a job offer, you gain experience that will help you perform even better next time. The more interviews you attend, the more comfortable you will become. Every question you answer builds your confidence. Every conversation improves your communication skills. Every experience teaches you something new. Instead of thinking, "I hope they don't ask difficult questions," start thinking, "I have prepared, I have practiced, and I am ready to do my best." That small change in your mindset can make a big difference. Remember that employers are not searching for perfect candidates. They are searching for people who are responsible, eager to learn, and ready to contribute. If you show those qualities with simple, clear English, you will already stand out from many other applicants. Thank you very much for listening to English Scale Podcast. I am Tom, and I am very happy you practiced English with me today. Keep listening, keep speaking, keep improving, one step at a time. Your English does not need to be perfect today. It only needs to become a little better every single day. I will see you in the next episode.